Welcome to Artwork Evolution. We are a creative app development studio. We build iPhone apps and we teach people how to create their own apps. The opportunity that we're looking at is the fact that almost everyone has an idea for an iPhone app. You've got working professionals, you've got non-traditional students, you've got hobbyists. They all want to learn how to make an iPhone app, and they're looking for resources on how to do it. We have 4 million people on Facebook who like mobile application development, and then there are over 300,000 developers who have published apps on the iPhone App Store, and they're selling them or they're getting free downloads right now. So the problem that we're facing right now is that there's a lack of quality educational materials for iPhone app development. Right now, there's no course in the world that teaches you how to create the next Facebook app. There just isn't enough advanced topics, and that's something that needs to be addressed. There are iPhone courses at colleges, but they're very beginner. They don't go into the advanced topics. It's usually just to get students started so that they can start making iPhone apps. The other problem that we have with the online courses that are out there is that only around 13% of students are completing massively online courses, and that's a really low completion rate. So we're looking to address this problem where there's a lack of course materials that teach you everything you need to know to create the next Instagram or the next Facebook iPhone application. What we're going to do is we're going to create our own iPhone app courses. And these courses are going to be online. They're going to be around 12 courses a year. 2 of them are going to be for beginners, and then 10 of them are going to be for advanced topics. And these are the topics that you need to know in order to scale an iPhone application to millions of users, in order to get lots of downloads on the App Store and work on app marketing. The other thing that we're going to make our most important thing is a short feedback loop. And this is really about the student and the instructor interaction. So what we want to do here is we want to be able to create materials on the fly that adapt to how our students learn. And we know that if we can respond each day and create course materials the next day that are better than the first day, then we can create the best materials on iPhone app development. All right, so let's talk about this feedback loop. When you look at positive reinforcement, which is one of the ways to train a dog, you have a clicker, which is on the floor in this picture with my Australian Shepherd. This clicker is a positive reinforcement mechanism. This tells you that you're doing something right. So when I click, that means a reward is coming. And that reward in this case is a spoonful of peanut butter. And so that's what we'll be doing with our students. We want them to know that they're on the right track and that they're making progress. And we want to positively reinforce them in that learning process. So let's take a look at our current product right now. This is our collection of iPhone app courses. And right now we have 5 published courses along with a subscription. The subscription gives you access to all of these courses for 1 monthly price. Here you can see some of the videos in the course. We have on-camera instructors who are teaching the topics that make it a little bit more personal, as well as code tutorials where you can follow along and see what the instructor is doing. Now, we find that this is really important to make it easy to see where the mouse is, to see what's being typed, and to go at a certain pace so that our students can keep up. And so that's what we do with our iPhone app courses. Now, right here, we have a picture of one of our students, and she's working on a set of course materials here and typing them, and now she is publishing the app on her iPhone. So she's able to go from an idea around nutrition to creating a first prototype in a little over a couple hours. Now, let's look at the market size. So we're looking at over 4 million on Facebook liking mobile application development. Now, we do think this is an understatement. We think that the market's a lot bigger than this, but these are people who have actually self-identified themselves on Facebook through the ad platform that we can get metrics on this. And then if we look at that, we can take that with the market share that iOS has. That's 32.5%. That's our target audience. It's a little over 1 million people who are interested in iPhone app development. And if we take this a little bit more granular and we just look at the App Store, we're looking at just over 300,000 iPhone app publishers. So these are people who are selling apps right now. These are people who are giving apps away for free, and they all needed to learn iOS app development, or they have teams of people that are making iPhone apps. So within this market at around average price of $37 a student per month, we believe that we have a potential of 41 million within our own addressable target market. And we do think that this is an understatement, and this is just looking at one of our business models, and I'll get into that in the next slide. So let's look at the competition. Right now, our competitors include Treehouse, Code School, and Big Nerd Ranch. Now, Big Nerd Ranch is one of the original ones here, and they create a book on iPhone app development that they sell for $30 to $40, and they also teach in-person iPhone courses, and they sell these for $4,000 to $4,500 a week. So there's a price gap between their book price and their in-person classes, and they're not addressing that online market. They've publicly stated that they don't want to do it. They're focused on a lot of contract work in addition to their in-person training and corporate training. So Treehouse and Code School sort of fill that gap that Big Nerd Ranch has left open, and that's where we see ourselves competing as well. We want to differentiate ourselves from Big Nerd Ranch by offering the online courses like two of our competitors on this list, but we also want to incorporate the feedback loop and learning research that helps people learn more effectively and more efficiently. And so that's what's really going to distinguish us from our competitors, because we're going to be creating course content that not only addresses the advanced topics, but it also goes into teaching them an effective method for learning and learning stuff quickly without having to spend a whole lot of time at it. So just setting up a regular routine that someone can follow every day a week, or once a day a week, or 2 times a week, something like that, that provides the structure that they get from a traditional in-person college course. Now, our business model is broken up into 3 parts, and the first part is the one that we're focusing on, because we think that if we can master this market, that we can really grow our business into both the academic and the corporate environment. And so when I talk about students, I'm not just talking about a student who doesn't have any money to pay for something. I'm talking about a non-traditional student. I'm talking about a working professional, a hobbyist. All of these people have money, and they're looking to get a new job, or they're looking to publish an idea as an iPhone app. So these are going to be our core subscribers in the beginning that we offer. Then we'll move into academic institutions where we can replace their intro computer science courses. Who wants to learn about data structures and algorithms when you can't actually hold something in your hand? And that's what we're going to provide for college curriculums. We're going to give them a better intro course that's going to teach people how to make iPhone apps and have something really tangible to start with. And they'll be these institutions will be licensing it, sort of like the WebAssign model, where WebAssign sells course access for physics problem sets for $140 a student. That's the student price. And then the university pays around $22 a student as well. So we think there's a lot more potential there, but we think that at our core, we need to create the best materials, and that's going to be from our first target market. Now, our third target market are companies. These are companies that create iPhone app services. They provide services for developers to scale. Services like Amazon Web Services that power Netflix or other big companies like that need to get data across the internet. And so these are services that app developers need to integrate, and there aren't good course materials for them. So what we can do is we can create custom course materials and then license that per student in these corporate environments. So here's our forecast. We're looking to grow our annual subscriptions from 869 to over 51,000 in the 5th year. And we're going to grow our team from 4 to over 45 people. In terms of our team right now, I am Paul Solt. I'm the CEO. I'm the iPhone app expert. I'm a former Apple employee where I worked when Steve Jobs was alive. And I'm a RIT academic professor. So I've taught in higher academics. Together with Nick Snyder, we raised 479% of our funding goal on Kickstarter. We're actually in the process of another one, which I'll get into on another slide. And I have over 640,000 downloads. So we have the experience publishing apps. Nick is a PhD from University of Pennsylvania. He's designed course materials both at UPenn and RIT, where we've both taught. And he's our research expert. So he's looking into the learning research. Then in our advising team, we have Steve Shapiro, who created Digsby and sold it and is now working at Bloomsburg. Then we have Mark Weil, who works in the cloud space for iPhone apps. And then Patrick Bosick, who's the Joystick software founder in Rochester. So here's our current
15
progress.
seconds remaining.
We have 5 iPhone apps courses that are published and that our students have taken. There are over 7,000 paid students, over 6,000 free students. We have an annual subscription with 27 subscribers, and this is our revenue.
All right, at this point in time, we will have to begin the question and answer session. So I will unmute all the judges, and then we can officially begin our 10 minutes of questions and answers.
Hey, this is Woody. When you guys looked for your target market, which led you to students, what was your thinking on, educating software companies that are trying to put up quality iOS apps and don't know how to do that?
The point is we're creating the resources that those employees can use to learn how to do that. And we're providing the advanced training materials that no one else is.
Okay. And then just give me the headline thing again, because this might have been too subtle for me, on how you learn in real time and modify the content.
So we're doing a 31-day course format, and this is a structured schedule, sort of like what you get in a college, university, except it's an online course. And we're going to have 20 lessons in that. So if you follow the course like we planned, that's going to be 5 lessons a week that you're working on, and then you have an app challenge over the weekend. So this is a little bit more vigorous than the traditional online course, but we believe that at the end of this period, the people who go through this program will be able to create their own iPhone apps and start making their ideas into apps that they can sell in the App Store. So that's sort of the starting point. And the core materials for that are going to be sort of created so we have a sort of a structure going forward. But the way it breaks down for the daily lesson is that we're targeting around 60 minutes of activities, and 10 to 20 minutes are going to be a lecture. Now, the lecture might be pre-recorded for some of the lectures, but we might modify some of the lecture materials based on how the progress is going. And then we'll have a code exercise. There might be multiple code exercises for different skill levels. And then at the end of the day, we'll have a question and answer video. And so this is sort of where we can adapt the content on a daily basis. The question and answers video is going to answer the questions that we get in these introductory courses on a daily basis so that students can sort of see how to do that. And then we can provide a little bit of supplemental materials if requested from our students. So this allows us to adapt on a daily basis to the students going through our courses. And really, this is about the introductory courses. So getting students onboarded. Once they're onboarded, we're not going to do a 31-day course for all the advanced topics because those are going to be shorter courses.
This is Steve.
Okay.
I had a question. In your response, you identified that, and we've been here today, your key demographic group is this group of people who want to start learning. But you identify that your long-term value proposition is that you have a better set of advanced courses than your competitors will. So
Right.
How do you balance those two things? Getting people onboarded against these companies that already have a first adopter advantage, who are already out there, who are already marketed, for people who are not yet ready to take advantage of the thing that is the value that makes you better than your competitors.
So what exactly is the question?
Sure. You say that the advanced product that you offer is where you really differentiate yourself and your feedback loop. So how do you overcome the advantage that your competitors have of already being out there for a product that is fundamentally the same as what they're offering before somebody gets your real value?
We've been doing online courses for 2 years now. So we've been out on the market. We have lots of students who have gone through our course materials. Now we're looking to make the experience better. What's going to differentiate us is our design and our passion for teaching students more effectively. That's how we're going to get new students. That's how we're going to get them through the program. And we're really interested in student retention. And that's something that's been really abysmal in the online marketplace. So the 31-day format, that's going to be what we use for our introductory courses, and that's going to allow us to get students through the program and into our advanced courses. Now, the only reason a subscriber is going to want to stay subscribed, and I've talked to some of our backers who have been subscribers on both Code School and Treehouse, the problem that they have with those programs is that Treehouse and Code School aren't focused. They're not focused on just iPhone app development. They actually do web design and a lot of things that are sort of secondary to what our students want to do. So by focusing just on iOS and providing advanced courses, we give our students a reason to stay subscribed rather than stopping their subscription because there's no more iPhone courses for them to take. So that's sort of the whole life cycle. We get students in the door, and then we keep them engaged with new course content and advanced topics that are going to teach them stuff like HomeKit, which allows you to do home automation, or some of the health kit stuff that's coming out in iOS 8. So that's where we see making a difference and just covering the entire set of beginner to advanced, because if we just did beginner courses, we'd have a huge attrition of students who just stop after the first 2 to 3 months. And that's not what we want. We want our students to be successful. We want them to be publishing apps. We want them to be publishing a second app using new technologies that they didn't use in the first app. And there's so many different things that students can do with this technology that's not being done right now.
Paul, do you find any students coming on board that need to learn how to make an app for their employer and
Yes.
And then sort of go away by the wayside because they already made that app for their employer?
I mean, I've had students who've been active for over 5 months making iPhone apps. One was in a firefighter company. He was working on trying to get rid of the paperwork that they do. So he's building apps that would facilitate all of the things they have to do when they're reporting a fire incident and stuff like that. So they could just do data entry on an iPhone or an iPad. Now, I haven't been keeping in touch with him a whole lot over the past several months, but he just backed my Kickstarter again for another $149. So he's reinvesting in learning the newest technology that's coming out in September, which is going to be iOS 8. And then Apple actually announced a new programming language called Swift. And so what we're going to see here is that all the existing iPhone developers need to learn Swift in order to stay current. Any new Apple product that's going to be coming out is going to be leveraging Swift. Swift provides a lot more performance improvements, and it takes advantage of modern programming techniques that Objective-C, with its 31 years of legacy, can't do.
The reason I ask is I bought an app for my business, and the person I bought it from, it's a one-time thing, and I paid him $800, and I get lifetime support. But
Right.
he just does it. He's insurance agency specific, and he builds apps just for people in my business. So
Right.
I don't know if he would be somebody that you would be targeting for this business. Would
If
that be
he
a
wants
good?
to adapt that application and make it current with iOS 8, he's going to need to take these courses to learn it. Otherwise, he's going to struggle without the concise learning materials. That's what we're providing. We're trying to make it so that students aren't wasting time learning these new topics. There's not a whole lot on the advanced materials. So he's going to want to incorporate new features like push notifications so that he can support your users better.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
And what are your plans to market this, and what do you think the customer acquisition cost would be, and perhaps the lifetime value?
So we've been doing some paid advertising right now, and our preliminary results are really early, but we've been able to get students for around $30, and a lifetime student for us is worth around $300. So that
Hold on. And what's the math around the $300?
that's based on a monthly subscription.
For how
And
long?
so far, we've had only 3 of the 30 students that have subscribed with us stop subscribing. So it's a little early to tell, but we know that we can become profitable just by marketing our courses and doing paid advertising. The other that's really key for this is that in order to become an industry expert, we need to be publishing books, we need to be publishing a blog that's going to be daily, and we need a YouTube channel. So we're going to be creating a sales funnel that incorporates free content that upsells our paid content. And that's how we're going to outreach to more people, because we're going to provide the best resources for people to learn from.
Just so you guys know, we have about 30 seconds left.
Why studio?
Because we're creative. We like to make games. We like to make photo apps, art apps. The art you see behind me is all created by me in my apps.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So at this point in time, we have 2 seconds left. So time would be up. So I'd like to thank all the judges for coming out today. I would like to thank Paul for presenting. And thanks again for rescheduling. We really appreciate it. We just had that one error in that first go round.
No problem.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Have a nice day, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
The meeting has ended.